The FAA cutting flights at 40 airports across the country due to the government shutdown. That includes 30 of the busiest airports. The FAA says the cuts will start at about 4%, but ramp up to thousands of canceled flights daily by the end of next week, putting travelers on edge from coast to coast.
It's difficult to understand how they just can't figure this out. You know, it's going to impact everybody.
It's tough. It's a real hectic for everybody. Even I'm flying right now. I got to come back Sunday, Jersey, so I don't know what's going to be happening.
I'm a nervous traveler anyway, a nervous flyer, and you know, you want to know that the people that are keeping you safe are being taken care of, and they're just not.
All I can say is Republicans, Democrats, come together, find a little of reason.
Joining me now to discuss, Harvey Skolnick, retired FAA air traffic controller. Good morning, Harvey. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Adi. Good to be here.
So people have been paying close attention, frankly, to the shutdown. In fact, probably because of what's going on at the airports. CNN actually obtained this image from one air controller's pay stub from the last pay period. I want to show it to you, even though you can probably guess what it says. It says $0. So can you talk about the strains that these people are going through?
You know, I received a couple of those paychecks in my time, and certainly I could understand it. So, you know, there's nothing different that's happening in the towers and TRACONs and centers today that wasn't happening before the shutdown or a year ago or 2 years ago. Same controllers, same system, same shortages. The difference is now somebody came and told them, look, you go to work tomorrow, but don't bother looking in your bank accounts on payday next Tuesday or every other Tuesday, because the money's not going to be in there. And by the way, these 535 people over here who are responsible for keeping the government open, they're going to continue to get paid. I think that the government should have expected that the controllers would be calling in sick in massive numbers, as they have done. And that's the reason for the delays. Obviously, the fact that so many controllers are calling in sick that there's not enough people in the towers and TRACONs and centers to handle the amount of traffic that's in their airspace.
I want to play for you something that kind of goes to what you're saying, a retired air traffic controller who's describing the situation for them this way.
Controllers are just being used as a pawn in this whole game of the shutdown. Reducing it by 10% it's a joke. Like I said, it's just something that's being used by the administration to make the flying public feel the pain.
Can you talk about that theory?
I agree with him 100%. I think that the controllers have been used as a pawn. You know, this has happened before. Controllers have actually gone to work, haven't used sick leave the way they are they are today. This is a different federal workforce of even though they're dedicated employees, there's something different about being a federal employee today. I agree with that, with him when he said it won't make a dent. I don't think it will make a dent. And it won't make a difference because the controllers, no matter how many airplanes enter their airspace, they're always going to meter it to the degree that they're able to handle it.
It's Harvey Skolnick keeping an eye on this for us. Thank you so much.
Americans are bracing for chaos at the nation's airports, with more flights getting cut in the hours ahead because of the government shutdown. Airlines have canceled more than 800 flights so far today. That is 4 times the number of cancellations seen yesterday. That's according to FlightAware. The Trump administration is asking airlines to reduce the number of their flights by 4%. It will impact 40 of the busiest airports in the U.S. You can see them all right here, highlighted on a map. Now, those flight cuts are expected to go up to 10% by next Friday if the government is not reopened.
As we come into Thanksgiving, if we're still in the shutdown posture, it's going to be rough out there, really rough. And we'll mitigate the safety side, but will you fly on time? Will your flight actually go? That is yet to be seen.
And just ahead of the holidays, travelers are raising concerns about the federal employees who have to keep those flights running while not getting paid.
I feel really bad for the TSA agents and everybody else, air traffic controllers that are being impacted. So in a way, I think we saw it coming. And all I can do myself as a traveler is when I get in the plane and when I get to the airport, I thank everybody and say, hey, thank you, because I know it's rough.
I have like mixed emotions, but I think my main focus is they need to get back to work. They need to get this fixed. They're going to hurt a lot of innocent people. I'm not worried about getting to Florida, but I might be concerned in 10 days about getting back home.
What a mess. CNN aviation correspondent Pete Muntean has the latest.
The Federal Aviation Administration just published this 15-page emergency order, and in it, the Trump administration is mandating that airlines slash flights if the government shutdown does not end and air traffic controllers continue working without pay. Here is the breakdown. Starting at 6 a.m. on Friday, airlines will have to cut 4% of flights from their schedules. Next Tuesday, 6% of flights. Next Thursday, 8% of flights. And next Friday, 10% of flights. That, in essence, makes changes within 2 weeks of Thanksgiving, when air travel was expected to be huge. This is coming with sharp criticism from major airlines, which are huge economic drivers, and they're saying that the Trump administration's holding a gun to their heads, turning the travel pain of millions into political gain, and no airline's really buying the administration's excuse that the U.S. airspace is suddenly unsafe. Here's what it means in real numbers. American Airlines told me that it will cancel about 220 flights each day, Friday through Monday. Southwest Airlines will cancel around 120 flights on Friday. Delta Airlines will cancel 170 flights Friday. And United Airlines will cancel around 200 flights on Friday. Here's the administration's reasoning for all this. Air traffic controllers just got this $0 pay stub, their second of this government shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says that stress in the national airspace system has reached a point where it is no longer safe to operate at full capacity, though even air traffic controllers have expressed to be major skepticism about all this. Where will this be? Well, this is the new map of airports everywhere from New York to Florida to Albuquerque to Anchorage. Now airlines are scrambling to adjust, telling me they're dealing with this like they would deal with the mass cancellations during a major snowstorm. The Trump administration says air traffic controllers are in crisis, but airlines say this will create travel chaos. Pete Muntean, CNN, Washington.
Can you imagine working for no pay? Well, some unpaid federal workers are understandably dealing with significant financial challenges. An air traffic controller union rep described for CNN the problems that he's hearing about, including some employees now facing eviction.
When you're not at work, you should be recovering. You should be resting, spending time with your family, doing the things that someone that's not at work does. But when someone gets off work as an air traffic controller, we don't, as a country, want them to have to go work for Uber or go stock shelves at a grocery store. That's another one that I heard today. Or go wait tables and then turn around and get minimal sleep and go back to their main career, where we want them to show up well rested, on their A game, to do a job that is extraordinarily important, that requires a lot of focus. And for the life of me, I don't understand what we're doing right now, because controllers need the ability to sleep, to not take stress from outside work into work. And when they go on break at work after getting crushed during a session full of airplanes, they should be able to recover. They should be able to walk around, call their family, watch a TV show, do something to get their mind off of what they just did. And you know what they're doing right now? They're deferring their mortgages. They're trying to figure out, how long can I continue to pay for childcare, which allows me to come to work anyway, because you can't bring your child to work. This is what they're dealing with on a daily basis, and it's disgusting.